If Mel Tucker had read Stop Simping in the Workplace, his job wouldn't be in jeopardy right now. Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. Michigan State head coach Mel Tucker has been suspended regarding allegations of sexual harassment. Now, Michigan State head coach Mel Tucker is alleged to have sexually harassed Brenda Tracy, a sexual assault awareness speaker, according to a statement made by Michigan State University. Now, Mel Tucker says that the intimate relationship that he had with Brenda Tracy was consensual and that any allegations made against him are completely false. Now, the big mistake that Mel Tucker made as regarded to his involvement with Brenda Tracy was getting involved with an individual on his workplace at Michigan State University. Now, in my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, I talk about how men need to keep their professional distance on the job regarding any individual who is affiliated with the business that they're working with. And Mel Tucker made the mistake of blurring the boundaries at Michigan State University, believing that since Brenda Tracy was a speaker at the university, that he could go out here and engage in a personal relationship with her at the workplace. Now, the mistake that he made was not understanding that anybody who comes to your workplace, whether they be an employee or a person coming to that business to do business, is somebody that you can go out here and get involved with. When the unwritten rule for men on the job as related to any woman in the workplace, whether she be an employee on the payroll or somebody hired to do contract work like Brenda Tracy was, is that all of those women on that job are off limits. And they are off limits for a reason, and the reason is you don't want to go out here and do anything to put your bag or your way of making a living in jeopardy. Because any involvement with any woman who is at your job, whether she be a employee who's on the payroll or a contract worker who is doing a speaking gig, is somebody who is on your job and they are getting paid by your employer, and anyone who is working for your employer is somebody you do not get involved with personally. No, you always set a boundary for yourself in your head that anybody on the job that works at your company is off limits, and you do not even consider them for any sort of contact out of the job. Now, Mel Tucker's big mistake was going out here and looking to get involved with Brenda Tracy off the job, and as he got involved in a personal relationship with Brenda Tracy off the job, what happened was he went out here and allegedly made several phone calls where he allegedly participated in some sexual behavior, and that was a major mistake considering the job that this woman Brenda Tracy had, being a sexual assault awareness speaker and somebody who goes out here and says that she survived a sex crime. This was the absolute wrong woman to go out here and get personally involved with at a job, and the absolute wrong woman to get involved with because she's already had an issue with a man as related to being violated by a man in a sex crime, and with that she is hypersensitive as related to any sort of relationship that she has. Moreover, with her being one of these individuals who is a so-called sexual assault awareness speaker, she also is someone who also looks to get attention by going out here and creating a scandal. And the way she could make a scandal that would get her attention and get her more speaking gigs is to create a scandal revolving around allegations regarding a prominent person like Mel Tucker. Now, Mel Tucker is the coach of the Michigan State football team and has an $80 million remaining on a $90 million contract. And with this whole situation, Brenda Tracy could go out here and create a public scandal for herself where she could look to generate lots of revenue at the expense of Mel Tucker's name and reputation. Because with Mel Tucker basically being a prominent Michigan coach, making almost 7 to 8 figures, again, making $90 million and it's $80 million on his contract, the scandal that would come from these allegations would possibly lead to her getting lots of speaking arrangements, but Mel Tucker would be the one who would lose as related to his professional reputation and would also go out here and lose if things happened, because this could be considered a violation of his contract with Michigan State, because this could be considered conduct that's considered unprofessional and a way to get him out of his contract. So Mel Tucker really was not thinking critically with his brain. No, he was thinking with his penis regarding the attention given to him by this white woman. And that could cost him not only as related to him losing his job, as related to these allegations, but it could also cost him as related to his marriage, because his wife could possibly use this as a case for a divorce to make an allegation of adultery. And this is why you don't go out here and simp in the workplace, because when you go out here and simp in the workplace, you crap where you eat, and when you crap where you eat, you wind up making a mess of your money and your life, because you are blurring the lines and blurring the boundaries as related to your personal and professional life. No, a smart man, when he sees a woman at his job that he believes is somewhat attractive, he navigates through his emotions, and while he may have feelings as related to how attractive she is, he does not act on those feelings because he understands he has too much to lose. And in this era of Me Too, where an allegation can simply cost a man not only his job, but could also cost him his freedom, a man does not go out here and look to get involved with any woman at that job. No, if she's out here and she's making a speech at that job, that man basically who is smart says, hey, that woman is an employee of this company because she's a contract worker, and as long as she's a contract worker, I'm not getting involved with her at all or even trying to make any moves on that woman. No, I'm going to watch her come and go because I have too much to lose as related to keeping this job, maintaining my professional reputation, and maintaining my professional image. So I will go out here, I will see that woman and not see her, and I will watch her go. And as I watch her go, I will be counting up my money. And as I'm counting up my money, I will be watching her go on someplace else, and she won't be able to go out here and make drama regarding me. That is what a smart, critical thinking man does when he sees a Brenda Tracy. He watches her come and go, and when he hears that she's a sexual assault awareness speaker who has already been a victim of a sex crime, he already knows, I'm going to keep my professional distance with this woman and follow the protocol for women in the workplace, because when it comes to dealing with women in the workplace, there is a protocol for engaging them, and the rule to engage them is if you engage them, always be in a public place if possible, where there are witnesses, and in the best case, always make sure to bring a female coworker with you as you're with them. Moreover, if you can, make sure you record any conversation so that they cannot go out here and turn it into a he said, she said situation. You want to make sure that you cover all your bases, because the way these women make these allegations that can destroy your career is to create a he said, she said situation. And in our gynocentric system, what these women know is that a woman's word will be taken over a man's. So you need to go out here and make sure you get corroborating evidence inside of making sure that you, one, have a recording of your conversation, two, you have a female witness to corroborate that whole conversation, three, you are in a public place where there are witnesses so that there are people who see all of you together. You want to make sure that you are outside so that this woman cannot make any sort of allegation as related to anything being inappropriate, because if everything is transparent and out in the open, this basically makes it where this woman has no legs to stand on as related to allegations. And you also want to make sure that there is a paper trail. This is how you protect your bag and protect your money. You don't want to go out here and make the mistake that Mel Tucker did and going out here and being alone with any woman on a job, because these days in this era of Me Too, all it takes is one allegation and you go from being a reputable person like a Mel Tucker, who's known as a coach that is one of the highest paid in college football, to winding up that guy going out here doing fries at Applebee's, all because a woman made an allegation that cost you your professional reputation, your marriage in some cases, and your career. You have to protect yourself, and the way you protect yourself is by understanding the unwritten and written social rules of engagement regarding women in the workplace. Now, if Mel Tucker had went out here and bought my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, he would have been in a better place and would have gone out here and been able to protect his bag, because him spending $14 on Stop Simping in the Workplace would have saved him possibly $80 million, because as this investigation goes on, Mel Tucker is basically in a place where his bag is in jeopardy, but he wouldn't have been in jeopardy had he picked up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, because with Stop Simping in the Workplace, he would have understood how to, one, identify female predators in the workplace, two, been able to go out here and been able to lay out the protocol for engaging women in the workplace after he identified them, and three, been able to set a boundary by maintaining a protocol for dealing with all women in the workplace, and that would have enabled him to protect his bag from these kinds of women, because a man has to remain vigilant when he's dealing with women in the workplace, because a lot of these women in the workplace do not like the idea of a man going out here and making this kind of money. And in the case of Mel Tucker being a black man, I believe what happened in this case is that Brenda Tracy basically wanted to go out here and get a payday for herself, not from the university, but also from public speaking engagements. And the way she could do that is by playing the race card, by saying that the black man was out here harassing her. And that plays into the racial narrative of the black brute, saying that the black brute was basically lusting after the average looking white woman. And because he was lusting after the white woman, this is why he was harassing her. And as she looked to make these allegations of harassment, she was hoping that these white knights would come and give her, one, more speaking gigs, and two, go out here and be able to take care of the black brute by punishing him for going out here and participating in what was actually a consensual relationship. So this is why a man, especially a heterosexual black man, has to go out here and cover his backside as related to being on the job, because when you are behind the job as a black man, you are behind enemy lines, and everybody is looking to go out here and looking to get you out of that job. And that's where Mel Tucker made the mistake as a workplace simp, believing in the rainbow, not understanding that people are out to get him out of that job. They don't want to see this black man making $80 million and living very well. No, they basically want to see Mel Tucker wearing an apron and being at the Applebee's, dropping down chicken tenders and fries. That's what they want to see of him, or basically being some sort of janitor. And they want to be able to say that they took his bag away from him. That is what they want to do with these allegations, basically looking to break a black man down trying to put him in the narrative of being a sexual predator, making it where they think he's some sort of violent black brute. And again, this is all par for the course with the system of white supremacy. And again, a man in the workplace has to be vigilant if he hopes to avoid winding up in these situations, because these situations can happen to any man who doesn't understand the rules of engagement, because a man has to understand the rules of engagement as related to dealing with women on the job. And they have to understand that when you are in the job and on the job, you must maintain boundaries between yourself and any woman on the job, and you must maintain your professional distance whenever you're engaging with women on the job. Whenever you are engaging with women on the job, the only place you speak to them is in public with others around, because if there are others around, they cannot make allegations that you sexually harassed them. No, they can't say you did things to them. They can't say anything that you have done, because if there are witnesses to corroborate your story, then this woman does not have a leg to stand on. Moreover, if there is paperwork to prove that this did not happen and recordings to prove it did not happen, you have a paper trail that shuts her down, and you need to make sure that you have that evidence, because again, in this era of Me Too, where we are still under the standard of trust and believe due to the Danny Masterson conviction, we are under a standard where law says that these women can make an allegation against you, and you can not only wind up losing your job, you can also lose your professional reputation, and you can also lose your freedom. And it's not something you really want to go through, winding up going from being a professional making hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars to a penitentiary with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, and Big Dave, and being traded for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light, packets of Taster's Choice coffee, packets of Crystal Light, and packets of Snack Pack puddings, and off-brand Oreo cookies and Fritos chips. I mean, that's a major fall from grace. And again, you can protect yourself and maintain your place if you go out here and buy my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, and start avoiding situations like this, because in today's modern workplace, you have to understand today's modern woman is not looking out for you, and you have to look out for yourself, because with today's modern woman is looking to make everything about an allegation. And again, you cannot allow them to make allegations, because you have to cover yourself and cover your tracks. And again, covering yourself means understanding that you are in a workplace where you are behind enemy lines. And if you want to protect your paper, you have to make sure that you maintain a paper trail that protects your paper and keeps your paper from becoming a part of one of these women's capers. Now, if you want to learn how to identify female predators in the workplace and identify situations that could get you jammed up, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in the Workplace at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to see me make more videos about men's issues, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and Kindle. Vampires stalk the darkness of the Eternal Night. Get your copy of Eternal Night in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com.
Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.